They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. Resilience, huh? That's what jumps out at me from this verse in Isaiah. We're diving deep into Isaiah today. Judgment, redemption, hope, it's all there.
Oh yeah, it's a powerful book, that's for sure. Written during a really turbulent time for Israel and Judah.
Right, lots of turmoil. And Isaiah the prophet, he's right in the thick of it, delivering these messages, these warnings.
Yeah, warning them about what'll happen if they stray from God, but also there's this promise, this hope for restoration, for a righteous king.
He doesn't sugarcoat anything, does he, when he talks about what's coming for those who reject God?
No, not at all. The imagery is so vivid, destruction, desolation, it's meant to evoke a reaction.
It's like he wants to shake them out of their complacency, like, wake up, look what's happening.
Exactly, and he really highlights the societal breakdown, the lack of leadership, the oppression that results when you turn away from God.
And then there's this whole issue of idolatry. Isaiah really goes after that.
Oh yeah, he lays it bare, doesn't he? The absurdity of worshiping these man-made things.
Like in Isaiah 2.20-22, people are so afraid of God's judgment that they literally try to hide their idols.
Think about that for a second. They're putting their faith in these objects, these things they created with their own hands. But when things get tough, what do?
They abandon them.
Exactly, which shows you where their true allegiance lies. It's a symptom of this deeper spiritual crisis, a turning away from the one true God.
And he makes a direct connection, doesn't he, between this turning away from God and all the problems they're facing.
Oh, absolutely. He even compares the kingdoms of Israel and Judah in Isaiah 10:10-11, showing how widespread this problem of idol worship had become.
But it's not all doom and gloom. Isaiah also offers these incredible prophecies of hope and restoration.
Right, like a glimmer of light in the darkness.
Like in Isaiah 9.6-7, we have this prophecy of a child born to rule, given all these amazing titles: Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace.
Wow, yeah, those titles are powerful.
What would those titles have meant to the people hearing Isaiah's words?
I think they would have been filled with this sense of awe and anticipation. Because you see, the concept of a Messiah, this future king from the line of David, was central to their hope for a restored Israel.
So it's not just about a political leader, it's about something much deeper, much more profound.
Right, exactly. It's about this longing for a king who would embody God's justice and righteousness, someone who would usher in an era of peace and prosperity.
And Isaiah 11.1-10 kind of expands on that, right? We get this beautiful picture of a righteous ruler bringing harmony to the world.
Yeah, it's a vision of a world transformed by God's grace, a world where even the natural order is restored to its intended beauty.
It's fascinating how Isaiah moves between these extremes. We have this promise of a powerful king, this messianic figure who will bring justice and peace. But then we have Isaiah 53, and it paints a completely different picture. We get this description of a suffering servant, someone who takes on the sins of the people.
Yeah, that's one of the most powerful and debated passages in Isaiah.
Verses 4 and 5 are particularly striking. Surely he hath borne our griefs and carried our sorrows, yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of God, and afflicted. But he was wounded for our transgressions, he was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. It's hard to reconcile those images, the conquering king and the suffering servant.
It is, isn't it? It's this paradox that lies at the heart of Isaiah's message. And for many, this suffering servant points directly to Jesus Christ.
Right, the idea of atonement, of Jesus taking on the punishment for humanity's sins, that's a core concept in Christian theology.
Exactly, and Isaiah 53 provides this incredibly powerful and moving depiction of that concept. It links the suffering of the servant to the promise of redemption and healing for all.
So it's not just about a political or military victory, it's about a deeper victory, a spiritual victory, one through suffering and sacrifice.
Right, it's a victory that transforms hearts and minds, not just nations and empires.
And that transformation extends beyond just individuals, right? We see this in Isaiah's vision of a transformed world, a new creation where sin and suffering are eradicated.
Yeah, in Isaiah 65.17-25, he paints this incredible picture of a renewed world where peace and harmony reign.
It's almost like a fairy tale. He talks about the wolf and the lamb dwelling together, the lion eating straw like an ox.
It's these striking details that make it so real, so tangible.
What do you think those details symbolize?
I think they point to this idea of complete restoration, a world where even the natural order is healed and reconciled. It's a vision of God's ultimate plan for creation, a world where violence and fear are replaced by peace and trust.
So it's not just about a spiritual transformation, it's about a transformation that impacts every aspect of creation.
Exactly. And that's what makes Isaiah's message so powerful and enduring. It speaks to our deepest longings for a world where justice and peace prevail. It reminds us that even in the midst of darkness and despair, God's power to transform and redeem remains. It's not just straight up prophecy, though, is it? I mean, the way he writes.
You're right. It's beautiful. It's like poetry, imagery, symbolism, all woven together.
Especially when he's describing that messianic age, that future world so different from what they were experiencing.
Right. It's like he's painting this picture of a world completely transformed. How does he make it feel so real?
I think it's the details, the vividness he draws you in.
Like, give me an example.
Okay, so in Isaiah 11, he says, "The wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf and the young lion and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them. And the cow and the bear shall feed, their young ones shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox." I mean, come on, that's powerful stuff.
Yeah. Predators and prey living in peace. It's a pretty radical vision.
It is. And what's it telling us? God's not just about saving us, you and me. It's about restoring all of creation, everything.
So it's not just about us humans getting along. It's bigger than that.
Way bigger. It's about recognizing that brokenness, between us with nature. It's not how it's supposed to be.
So this new creation, it's about harmony, peace, but it goes beyond just human interactions.
Absolutely. It includes everything, all creation. And there's more. He talks about a transformed human heart, too.
Okay, like what? Give me an example.
He says, "The earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Lord, as the waters cover the sea."
The knowledge of the Lord. What do you think he means by that?
Well, think about it. A world where everyone understands God. Justice, righteousness, they just prevail.
Kind of like God's wisdom is guiding everything we do, everything we are.
Yeah, exactly like that. It's like human nature itself is transformed by God's grace. We're talking real change here. Deep, deep change.
And, speaking of transformation, we started this whole deep dive with that quote about waiting on the Lord, right? "They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint."
Yeah, such a powerful image, isn't it?
Why do you think that image, those words, why do they resonate so much even today?
Because I think deep down we all yearn for that. Strength, renewal, overcoming obstacles. We want to soar like eagles.
Yeah, we want that resilience to keep going when things get tough.
Exactly. And that's what Isaiah is getting at here. When we put our trust in God, we tap into a power that goes beyond us. We find that resilience.
So it's about hope, about not giving up even when we're exhausted, discouraged.
It is. It's a reminder that we're not in this alone, that there's something bigger holding us up, carrying us through.
Isaiah is complex, right? It's not like a simple message. Hope, yes, but also these warnings, strong warnings. What strikes you most about his message?
For me, it's that balance. Judgment and grace. He doesn't shy away from the tough stuff, the consequences, but he always, always comes back to God's desire for us, to be reconciled, redeemed.
So even when we make mistakes, mess things up, there's still a way back.
Always, always. God's love, God's mercy, it's always there. We just have to seek it.
That's encouraging. We're often so quick to judge ourselves, others. But Isaiah, he's offering something different, a God who wants us back, who wants to heal, restore. We spend this deep dive really digging into Isaiah, judgment, hope, transformation. It's all there. As we wrap up, what parts of his message do you think hit home the most today?
I think about how he challenges us, to connect faith and action, not just talk about it, but live it. Live out God's justice and mercy every single day.
So it's not enough to just go through the motions of faith. Got to put it into practice.
Exactly. He's really clear about that link, between changing ourselves and changing society. Turning back to God, that's how you build a just world, a fair world.
Yeah, that's powerful. He's not just calling for individual piety. It's bigger. It's about remaking society to reflect God's righteousness.
Right. It's about that future he talks about. No more oppression, no more injustice, everyone living in peace, harmony. Kind of resonates with what's going on in the world right now, wouldn't you say?
Definitely. And Isaiah's words, they've sparked so many movements for social justice, for a better world.
It's amazing, isn't it, how his message still gives people hope, direction, shows them how to make a real difference.
So we're wrapping up this deep dive into Isaiah. What are the big things you want our listeners to remember? What should they take away from all this?
I think it's that reminder, even when things are tough, God's love is constant. His desire to restore us, to heal us, never goes away. Doesn't matter how far we stray, there's always a path back to him, to grace, to forgiveness.
That's good. It's easy to get lost in all the judgment stuff, but you're right. It always comes back to God's love.
It does. And that restoration, it's not just for us, it's for all of creation. It's that future where harmony and peace are everywhere.
A beautiful vision, inspiring, challenging. So Isaiah, he gives us this vision of hope, transformation, calls us to be a part of God's work, to fight for justice, for mercy, for love for all.
And it's a journey, for sure, with ups and downs. But ultimately, it leads us to that future where God's kingdom reigns.
A kingdom where, and I love this image, they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. We hope you've enjoyed this deep dive into Isaiah. For more journeys into these amazing texts, make sure to like and subscribe to By the Pages. And until next time, keep exploring, keep discovering.